guys, and welcome to Beneath the Table. I'm your host, Matthew, and joining me today are my co-host,
Tyler.
Steve.
Willie. You want to go with Steve?
Jacob. It's not Steve.
Steve
Okay.
Jacob.
See,
Jacob.
I still haven't fully learned your name. I'm bad with names, so I kind of was like, oh, I guess it's Steve.
That should be my shtick. I just give myself a new name every week.
Every week, new name.
This is what happens when you don't join us for the first two podcast titles.
I was here for the second one, but we just haven't finished it yet. Semantics.
Sem-
We said that
this-
earlier, right? Yeah.
Did we?
I don't
Yeah,
know.
but we.
In the first cut.
Yeah, but this is take 2.
I think this is take like 4.
Yeah.
This is how difficult it can be, dear listener.
Yeah.
4 takes. Anyways, guys, I think the Super SNES just came out, right?
Yeah, the SNES Classic came out like 3 weeks ago or something.
The Super Nintendo.
Yeah, the Super
System.
Super Nintendo.
And-
the super duper Nintendo. That should have been the one app before N64.
Oh, yeah. Gosh, the names.
Yeah.
And you bought it.
I
How much-
did.
How much did that cost you, by the way?
Well, it's $80 retail if you don't buy it from a scalper, but technically I got it as a birthday present, so it didn't cost me anything.
Okay.
So, pretty worth it. 21 Super Nintendo games, which are like some of the best of the Super Nintendo games, is included, and it's like the best console ever, so can't complain.
Does it have Turtles in Time?
It does not have Turtles in
That's
Time.
a shame.
Like
That
I,
is a
like,
shame.
like I said, most of the best in
Yeah.
the library. It also does not have Chrono Trigger, which...
That is shocking.
That is upsetting.
But it has like 4 other RPGs alone.
Does it have?
If it has
Earthbound?
Secret of Mana, I'm gonna get mad.
It has Secret
It
of
has
Mana.
Secret of Mana,
Yeah.
really? I mean, that's not a bad game. It's just they have that, but
Yeah,
not Chrono Trigger.
that's the thing is, I would have thought if Secret of Mana was in there, it would have had Chrono Trigger. I've never personally played Chrono Trigger, and I would have liked to.
Does
It's
it
a
have
game.
Earthbound?
It does have Earthbound, yes.
Okay, that's good
There we
because a
go.
physical copy of Earthbound is like $180.
Yeah, no,
Earthbound's a good
like it
game.
literally, like the thing alone, it has like 4 RPG games, so that's probably like gonna at least 50 hours alone with those 4 games.
Well, my favorite game of all time is Mother 3, so I love all the games. In
It
that
does
series.
not have Mother 3.
Well, yeah, Mother 3 was a Game Boy Advance game
Is
that
it?
doesn't even have an American release.
I can't
Oh,
know.
Mother 3. I'm thinking of Mother 2, the one with Lucas.
Yeah, I thought Mother 2 was Earthbound.
What's
Mother
not the
3, Mother
best
3 is
timeline
Lucas.
of it.
Is Mother 3 Lucas?
Yeah.
What do you mean Game Boy then?
It was on the Game Boy Advance. Mother 3 only came out for the Game Boy Advance, and it was in...
It was? I thought...
No, it was originally... I think it was originally supposed to be released on the 64 or something, but then like it got canceled, and then...
Well, no, Mother 3 isn't actually like a game that's released. I think what it is it's like... I think it's Mother. Earthbound is Mother 2, and then there's like... I don't know, it's confusing.
I'm pretty positive Mother 3... Yeah, but Mother 3 was
Because-
released in Japan only, and the only reason you could play it here is because there was a really good fan translation of it that they
Makes
released.
sense.
Oh, that's what... No, okay, I think that's what it is. I think it's because there's like that long-going joke where people are like, Nintendo, when are you gonna bring Mother 3?
It's
Yeah,
like,
it's been going on for a while.
And so that's just them talking about like an official Western
Yeah,
release.
well,
I
they
guess.
just released Earthbound Beginnings, I think, on Switch. Or
Oh,
no, it
yeah.
was on Wii U.
I think I saw
Yeah,
something
The
like
Virtual
that.
Console.
Yeah, Earthbound Beginnings, that was like the...
Versus Mother, yeah.
Yeah, then like...
Yeah,
it
it was released in Japan only in April 20th,
was like
2006.
They're
really...
still on Japanese. They get all the good stuff.
Yeah, no
they're
shit.
hogging
Well,
all the fun
freaking
games.
Dragon Quest, man. I've been wanting like a new apparently they're going to release the next Dragon Quest in America too.
Dude, they've released
did-
like 3
When
Dragon...
did Dragon Quest come out?
They released
Dude,
like...
that's like one of the first that's like one of the most influential RPGs ever.
It's more beloved... Like, Dragon Quest is more beloved in Japan than Final Fantasy.
Okay, I
Like,
never.
the Japanese absolutely love Dragon Quest.
I never
It's
played
like-
Dragon Quest. So explain the premise. Do you get to kill a dragon?
No, that's
Okay.
all. That's an episode in and of itself.
Here,
Okay,
here.
give me a quick
I can
overview
give a very basic overview. All right, so you know Dragon Ball Z. You know how those characters look?
Yeah.
Imagine characters that look like that, but they're in a JRPG because the art style is by the same guy. I believe.
It's by Akira Toriyama.
Yeah.
Do they fly and shoot beams of lasers from their hands?
No, but they have swords.
They
Oh,
do.
okay, fair enough. I like swords.
Swords.
1986 was the first.
Yeah, it was like on NES. I
Yeah.
think it came out at least in the West. I think it came out before like the first official Final Fantasy.
It was called. Yeah, it was. It was a huge influence on that game, and it was called Dragon Warrior in
Yeah,
America.
I can't remember what Final Fantasy because there was one Final Fantasy game. There was like Final Fantasy 1, and then there was like Final Fantasy Mystic Quest, which was basically a dumbed down Final Fantasy made only for the West because Rare in Japan thought that JRPGs were too hard for us dumb Americans.
Well, that's what they did with Mario. There was like
Super Mario 2: The Lost
Yeah, the
Levels.
lost. Yeah, that the Japanese says it was too hard for the Western audience to do.
So then they just skinned Doki Doki Panic as Mario 2, which is pretty fun, but
It's just the same game.
I have played Lost Levels, and it is significantly more difficult than Mario 1, but kind of for the wrong reasons.
Do you know how much easier that game would be if that jump arc didn't suck?
Yeah, that's the
I
thing.
was playing it and I was like, it's this stupid jump. The jump in this game is terrible.
It's the jump, and some of the difficulty comes in that they purposely trick you into things.
Yeah, it's like freaking.
Like the first like block, whenever you get like a mushroom from a block, it's like, oh, I remember that for the first game. It's all good, and then it's like,
die.
nope, yeah, it's a poison mushroom.
See, so Jacob, you notice this. Here's a throwaway to another podcast that may or may not ever come out. Powercast.
Oh yeah.
When we used to record Powercast, we used to play Super Mario World on there, and Jacob knows I'm not very good at that. Really good at those games. for some
Holy
reason.
crap! Him and our friend Michael and Isaac's actually the worst.
Well, yeah. No offense,
They are
Isaac.
so bad at old platformers. Like, they could not beat like a single level like within like
Without
each of
dying.
them trying with 5 lives.
What game was it?
Super
Mario
Mario
World.
Like, oh, like the Super Nintendo one, Super Mario
Yeah.
World.
Yeah.
Okay. In my
I beat
defen-
2 worlds in the same time that it took them to die 5 times each on
In
one
my
level.
defense, I'm actually really decent at those games, but when I get sit in front of like my friends, I just suck it up.
Dude, it took me
I
like
really do because I beat a game
it
before.
it took me like 9 minutes to beat the second castle in Super Mario World, and that included me going back to the like the yellow switch palace.
Yeah. Like freaking
Oh no, that one I had when I was like flew through the level without stopping. It was like, oh my goodness, Matt's actually doing really well.
Yeah, that was actually good. I pride myself on being really, really good at the Donkey Kong Country games.
That's also on the SNES Classic.
Oh, they should be.
The
If they're
fir-
not on there, then that is
well-
not an S Classic.
Only the first one. Diddy's Conquest is not on there, and I forget what the third one's called.
The first one's my favorite because that's the first game I ever beat.
It's a good
Yeah.
game.
According to my parents, again, I cannot specify it for
We'll
sure.
confirm this.
Huh?
We'll confirm this.
Yeah, I can't because I was so young. But apparently, when I was like 2 or 3, I beat the game because I used to just sit there and watch Dad play it, and I learned all the things about it, and I just would play it.
Well, no, see, that's the thing too. Is like I would used to play Mega Man X on like the Super Nintendo at my grandparents' house when I was
Yeah.
maybe like 6 or 7, and I could usually beat like Launch Octopus and Sting Chameleon with just the Mega Buster. Like I never knew that I could switch to a different weapon after I beat
Yeah.
bosses in Mega Man, so I only used the Mega Buster, the Mega Buster.
Yeah.
And
Oh, I
now
don't-
it's like I play Sting Chameleon, and I'm like, why? How could I beat him easily without using I think it's Launch Octopus I use against
Yeah.
Sting Chameleon. I think that's the order.
I think it's impressive if anybody can play through the old Mega Man games, like, and beat it, because those games are just hard in
Yeah.
itself.
Except for 8.
Yeah.
Which, you know what's surprising? Like, a lot of people, like, consider that game the black sheep, but that's actually my favorite. Like, as far as the OG Mega Man goes.
I
That's,
like
like,
2.
my favorite one.
Two's one of my favorites.
Even though Mega Man 8 has, bar none, some of the worst cutscenes in gaming history, I still love that game.
Oh yeah, 8 has cutscenes,
Yeah, and the
I
voice
forgot.
acting is so bad.
and then they went back to 9 and 10 like on Xbox Live or something.
You remember
Yeah.
what weird Mega Man 3D like kind of open world game they had?
Legends?
Oh yeah, on
Is
N6, it was like
Where,
N64.
he
No,
didn't
it was
have his helmet on
PlayStation.
and actually you saw his hail for some reason.
That was a spin-off series. That
It
actually
wasn't?
that wasn't the same. That wasn't the same Rock from the original games. I don't
Okay,
think.
because I remember seeing it.
There's another spin-off that's the same thing pretty much called the Misadventures of Tron Bonne or Tron Boone or something like that, and I haven't played it yet, but I just downloaded it on emulator.
Did someone say Tron?
Yeah.
Tron. Okay.
I pre-ordered a Tron Funko Pop. I was just like, want.
I thought you were going to talk about like the game or the movie.
I do remember the game on like PS3. That was in like 360. That was actually a pretty solid game for like a movie tie-in. Could have been worse.
So we were talking about 8-bit games, and for some reason on my headphones I sound horrible. I sound like I'm talking through
Like a
a piece of tin
like
or
an
something
8-bit
like that.
Okay,
keyboard.
Bane.
That's what it sounds like. It's like, why am I talking through? It's like, you know how people sound when they talk like with cans in the string?
Yeah.
That's what I sound like right now. Okay,
Disclaimer.
so we were talking earlier. We never got it actually fully recorded, but we were talking about starting from the beginning, like with 8-bit games.
Yeah.
And Tyler was saying, I don't remember what game you said.
I
you
think
first started
it
with.
was either Mario 1 or Mario 3. Like I feel like it
That's
was
a good start. Mario 3 is a really good start.
Yeah, I feel like it was one of those because I'm kind of drawn. I don't think there were too many NES games at my grandparents that I really played. It was mostly like the Super Nintendo.
Yeah.
when I was little, I used to go downtown to get my teeth cleaned at a dentist. And okay, let me say this dentist office was so awesome for little kids because they take all the kids back at once. So there's like 6 kids just waiting to get their teeth cleaned, and they're unsupervised basically.
Is the dentist an octopus?
No, but they had like an old Pac-Man machine
Ooh.
for 2-player and 1-player, and then they also had Super Nintendo. No, they just had a regular Nintendo with Super Mario, just Mario on it, and so that was like the thing to do when you go to get your teeth cleaned.
Nice. No, I remember the first Game Boy, like the original Game Boy, is like what I remember as far as like 8-bit games go. I had Pokemon Fire Red,
Woo!
and I had the first Kirby game, Kirby
That's a
Dream
good game
Land.
too.
Oh yeah.
Before you could actually have powers and stuff like that.
Yeah, well, you just suck everything.
Yeah, you just
And
suck it
then
and blow.
shoot it.
That does-
That sounds so bad when you like describe Kirby.
Yeah,
It's a pink.
we'll get to Kirby again later because Kirby is like one of my all-time favorite series. So, but yeah, those are the first 2 like 8-bit games that I remember playing because I used to play Fire Red all the time and I never got anywhere because I was so young I didn't know what I was doing.
Yeah,
so,
I
like,
didn't get far when I was young with Fire
I had
Red
no
either.
idea what I was doing.
I think the farthest I got was the boat, and that's not that far in the game.
No, it's not.
It's like I made it to the boat, guys.
Isn't that just like the time like before
Wait,
you
did I say
fight?
Fire Red? Just Pokemon Red. My bad.
Yeah,
I mean,
Pokemon, like,
Yeah, I
red
mean,
version,
same thing. Fire Red is a remake of Red. So
Yeah.
but it's so good.
it is.
Pokemon's a great 8-bit game.
Yeah, I think that's why I have such a like more connection with like the 16-bit era because that's mostly what I had. Like I played a lot of Super Nintendo, and my first like console that like I had was a GameCube, so that was like the 3D and like 64-bit and stuff. But like actually, I also had a Game Boy Advance, so I kind of skipped over the 8-bit stuff.
See, I had when I was younger, my first console I had was a PlayStation 2, but I had a Game Boy Color.
Dude,
So I played a bunch of like the movie tie-in Disney games they had for
Oh.
Game Boy Color.
like not only movie tie-in, but also 8-bit, the best.
Well, some of them are really good.
Like, do you remember the Bugs Life
The-
Game Boy Color game?
Oh yeah, dude, The Last of Us, get out of here. Give me Bugs Life.
yeah, the
Gosh.
Lion King game is really good. It's just really hard.
I've actually seen it
Talk about
played,
the
yeah.
Lion King games. That reminds me of when JonTron reviewed a bunch of
The
like,
bootleg-
Oh,
the
man,
bootleg Disney.
yeah.
the 8-bit bootleg games. Gosh,
Yeah.
it's just so bad.
This is true death. But no, there was that's like as far as like the 8-bit goes. I pretty much started with Super Nintendo too. Like we had one in my house, but it wasn't really mine.
Yeah.
The first console I ever got was actually like we had a PlayStation and we had a Super Nintendo like since I was born. But the first console I remember getting for myself was the year it came out. My mom and dad got me a PS2, and it was and it was bundled with. Look at the spike
Look at that
on the
spike.
audio.
We need soundproofing.
Yeah, no kidding. That was rough. So it came bundled with Tekken Tag Tournament,
Ooh.
like the first one, and I was
You're
dude.
really good at Tekken.
I played. Yeah, that's the one fighting game where it's like
What is like the newest Tekken that came out? I low key kind of want to get
Tekken
that.
7.
Yeah, Tekken 7.
Okay,
kinda
so
wanna get
I got
that.
Tekken Tag Tournament 2, and I just kept playing it for a while. And this is recently. This was last year. And then we had this
He finally got a PlayStation 2 last year, guys.
PlayStation 3 last year.
Did you ever get a Vita?
No, the thing with the Vita is that like I did like it. It was just there weren't enough good games coming out for it.
Yeah,
And they were just
no.
like, oh, screw it.
Yeah, I got a Vita
Yeah.
because I was thinking, I'm like, oh, they'll do more with it, and they didn't
It's like
really.
the PSP. He's like, oh man.
Well, the PSP at least had games for it. Like
True.
it was
The
actually.
The Vita did not last long at all.
I think like I think the last game they like really did as far as like a big AAA title was like the year 2 of it being out, and then they stopped. And I think it was just like the PS Vita port of PlayStation All Stars
Yeah.
Oh wow, yeah.
Battle Royale.
Jeez.
That was
That
the thing.
was-
That was the thing I liked about the Vita. It was cool because it's like they had games like that where it's like if you buy it on the PS3 or whatever, then you get the Vita copy for free. So it's like now I can play it on the go as well.
Technically, I have Star Wars Battlefront 2 on PS Vita, but I don't have one. So it's like, crap it.
No, there's a
Why
but
did I buy
yeah,
this?
with Tekken Tag Tournament 2, and that when I got that for PS3, I just kept playing it and I got really good with Slim Bob as of all characters.
Dude, when
And we have like this this thing called the Actually, no, we didn't play it there. Pretty much, we have a friend of ours named Mikey who prides himself on being really good at fighting games.
Yeah.
And he is really good at fighting games. I mean, he backs it up.
I will challenge him at Injustice 2 and MK10.
No, Mikey doesn't know how to play Injustice 2, so he spams you and says, "Oh, it's not my fault."
Oh, I will destroy him with Sub-Zero and Flash.
He really is like really really good at fighting games. But but mainly Smash Brothers. Like he can destroy us.
He's
in
really
Smash
good
Brothers.
at Smash. I've watched him play.
See, Smash Bros is the fighter
he plays
where I'm like a spammer.
He plays competitively on that, and he's taught me more about it. And then I started playing competitively.
Jacob's not really that good at Smash. I beat him so many times. Let the Wugwood show.
He
With
beat
who?
me. He
With
beat
what
me.
character?
Okay, let me tell you what. He's beaten me one time on record, and you know why? Because I was only playing as Jigglypuff, and I was just trying to rest the whole time. That's the only reason he beat me.
What Smash and what character was he using?
I don't remember.
We're playing Project Dome,
Oh,
and I probably was using Flank.
yeah, I was about to say.
My main in that game is Bowser in Project M.
Bowser's
Talking about
pretty-
like old, I wouldn't say it's that old of a retro game, but the original Smash, I love that game.
Oh yeah, on N64.
Oh,
Yeah.
dude, that's retro. It's 64.
I've
Not fair
never
enough.
I've never played that one. I think I played a little bit of
Melee.
No, that's a lie actually. I've played the N64 one and I've not played Melee.
The 64 had some good games, like
This
the
is-
original Mario.
Oh, it had a
Kart.
lot of great games. It just
Yeah.
had the worst controller ever.
Yeah, I just don't get
Speaking
it.
of Nintendo 64, there's one right over there.
Yeah. I mean like I like how it looks. It's just weird how there's so much wasted space. Like you never use the L button or the D-pad.
No.
Yeah.
Unless you have a game like Mischief Makers where there's no reason for you to
that
have
was
an
like
analog stick.
I think that was like the one reason they did it is because they didn't know how to make a controller with both a D-pad and an analog stick yet. So they're just like, well, do a normal controller and then just kind of put a analog stick in the middle and it just jets out.
Well, that's Nintendo. They like to innovate with every system they put out. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, let's do this new thing.
I mean, yeah, it's true because then the next one after the N64 was like the weird GameCube controller, even though that's like one of the best controllers.
Actually, you know what? I just remembered that 64 was actually the first system I ever got. That was mine. I've had that thing since I was like 5, and it still works. And it was like, it's perfectly fine. I don't have any issues with it. And actually, that came bundled with Donkey Kong 64.
I like buying a console and it has like a bundle deal with it.
Yeah. Well, that's how I got my PS4 for only like $260. I got the PS4 bundle with Uncharted. and
Me
it was like
too. I
$260.
got that exact same.
I was like,
bundle
that is so cheap.
for my birthday, so I didn't buy it. So it was like
Yeah.
super cheap to me.
That like when I saw it, I was like, I can't pass a deal like that up. I mean,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
only $260.
No, that happened with me with like the Xbox One. I got like an S.
Shh, well, Sony people.
Well, what-
Yeah, me and
I
Matt,
mean-
me and Matt are on the
I mean,
Sony
I
side.
am too, but this was a good deal, and a lot of my friends are like on Xbox Live, so I'm like, yeah. But it was like $200 for an Xbox One S, and it came with Halo 5.
Okay, yeah, that's a good deal.
and Ghost Recon, the like gold edition, which is usually like $100, Recore, and Forza 6. All,
Okay, fine.
like,
That is a really
yeah,
good deal.
like that's almost like $200 in games. So it's like that's a really good deal, and so I went ahead and bought it. I'm like, sweet.
There you go. But yeah, as far as like we've just trailed off on one conversation after another.
Well,
Dude, games are
I
so
mean,
good.
well, there's so many.
We're sticking to like
We're sticking to the thing, yeah.
Auto games.
But
let's
yeah,
say.
so I remember getting that. I was a huge I was and still am a huge Crash Bandicoot fanboy. So I played
Bandicoots.
all the Crash games when I was a kid, and then I even got Wrath of Cortex, and I still stand by that game, and I think it's fine.
That's the fourth one?
I
Or is that the fifth one?
do not remember. I want to say that's the fourth one.
But that's not produced by Naughty Dog, is it?
No, Naughty Dog's last game was Naughty Dog's last Crash
Crash Team
game was
Racing.
Crash Team Racing. Yeah,
Crash Team.
Finn Wolfhard is a big fan of that game.
yeah, he is. Well, are you thinking? Wait, I think you're thinking of tag team race. Is it team racing or tag team racing?
Maybe tag
no, I
team
didn't play those.
Team racing's incredible. Tag team racing is not bad. I actually ended up making like I made like kind of like a list of the best Crash games on my computer that I never actually put on anything.
All 5 of them.
There's actually a pretty fair amount. They got Twin Sanity, they got Wrath of
Talking
Cortex.
about
Also,
good-
and if you count like the Game Boy ones too, like remember when they had that like Crash and Spyro crossover?
Crash's Huge Adventure or whatever.
Yeah, it was like Crash Huge Adventure. Then there was like Crash Bandicoot Purple
Purple
Edition.
and Spyro Orange.
Yeah, and Spyro Orange.
Some about old games that has like a lot of games to it is the Kirby games when you mentioned earlier.
Holy crap!
Kirby
yeah,
has
there's
a
so
lot
many
of
Kirby
games.
games.
Kirby has a lot of games, and then he has like one game which is on the Super Nintendo. It's also on the SNES Mini, which technically
Is it Superstar or
yeah,
Dreamland 3?
the Superstar.
Okay,
Superstar,
that one.
Superstar is the best Kirby
Dreamland
game.
3, I think, is NES.
Superstar Ultra is the best Kirby game ever
Yeah,
made.
Superstar Ultra, which is a Kirby game that basically comes with I think 5 games, so it's like that 21 games.
Well,
technically goes to
Super
26.
yeah, it's Superstar. It's the original Superstar game, but they added stuff to it.
Yeah.
And it's so
I think,
good.
I think actually it's 8 games in one.
It's the best DS game I've ever played, and it's also the best Kirby game to me.
Also, think about the Sega and the classic star of the Sega. Is
Oh, well, Sonic the Hedgehog, yeah.
I was gonna say Rise Star, but
What?
Dude, Rise Star. Oh my god, that was made by the same people.
yeah, no, it's Sega. Or was Alex Kidd Sega?
Yeah, Alex Kidd was Sega.
Yeah. What did he do again? Wasn't he just like a kid
I
that jumped?
don't remember.
I don't know either.
How about the age old classic Echo the Dolphin?
Dude, people,
What is that?
people love that game.
That game is terrifying.
It's like a super hard game where you just play as a dolphin that.
That goes into
Swims
space.
around?
Stop doing that. And that goes into. And I'm like, okay. He's like he is a space warrior, but he's just a regular dolphin. Like he looks like a real dolphin.
The thing is,
It kind of sounds like
the thing is too is that there's only I think like 3 or 5 levels in the game, but they like
They're so hard.
yeah they made it super hard because they were just like. It's too easy. We don't want people to rent it for a weekend and then beat it and never buy it. So let's make it really hard.
you say it's a dolphin in space basically.
Well,
Space
he starts
dolphin?
out like a normal dolphin, and he talks to all the other dolphins, and it's just.
Because that sounds like Earthworm Jim.
Oh no, dude! Earthworm Jim is amazing.
I know that's an amazing game, but it's like the concept like, oh, it's a worm in space.
Yeah,
Now, Earthworm Jim, wasn't that on the Sega first and then they ported it to Super Nintendo later?
it was on everything.
Or was it the other way around? Because I
Um,
think that it was exclusively on Genesis for a while. Because I think Sega kind of rubbed that in the face of Nintendo.
It was on Super Nintendo and on Sega Genesis, and then Earthworm Jim 2 came out for that for those two, and then it came out for the Saturn for some reason.
I forgot about the Saturn.
Almost something that everyone forgets about is the Dreamcast. Though.
I don't think anybody forgets about
Yeah.
the Dreamcast.
No,
really.
Really? I
people-
don't
no,
really
people-
think about it.
People forget about the Saturn because the Saturn I think was only out for like 2 years, and Sega's like, we're not doing good with this. We need another one, and then they made the Dreamcast, and then they still didn't do good. And
Even though
that-
people still play Phantasy Star on there
And
on
like-
DSL.
and like Nights into Dream or whatever.
Oh yeah, Knights of the Dream, Power Stone.
I forgot about Power Stone.
Yeah, and they released that for
now
Vita.
that's a fighting game.
That's a really good fighting game. I was actually the other day recently. I was playing the Billy and Mandy video game, and it's pretty much just Power Stone.
Billy and Mandy.
That's a
Dude,
great
that should
game.
be a podcast for another day. Old cartoons.
We did that already.
That was episode 1.
Dang
Not
it.
even
That was
listened
the
to
first one.
First episode.
No, because I can't hear my golden voice in it.
But no, yeah, Dreamcast was great. One thing I was really happy they started doing was like re-releasing old Dreamcast games on like Steam and stuff like that. So
Oh,
now,
yeah.
now I can finally play Jet Set Radio
I
and
mean,
stuff without having to buy a
Sega
Dreamcast.
wants money, and Sonic wasn't doing well for
I
a few
think-
years. So
I think that's what's great about Steam is like you can get a bunch of old video games.
You want to talk about like picking up pace again, like with the Sonic series, like how on and off it's been for a while, and
Yeah,
then
Sonic
like
has hit or miss.
they've had a really good game and then a horrible one, and then like with Sonic Mania coming out, another really good one, and then
well, but see, Sonic Mania was mostly made by fans. Like
Yeah.
Sega, like Sonic
Now,
Team didn't really do
there's
much.
some good Sonic fan games. Out
there's
there.
incredible Sonic.
That's
fan
why
games.
Mania
Well,
came out this past month, and then
Was it past month? I thought it was like a couple months.
I think it was last month. I think it was.
It was
September.
last month.
It
and
feels
then
like forever ago.
and then Forces is coming out soon after.
It's actually coming out next Friday, I think.
What?
Oh yeah, Forces.
What's that?
Sonic Forces is coming
I
out.
I
next
haven't heard anything about
The
that.
new Sonic C, because
It
no one
pretty
cares.
much. Well, actually, a lot of people are saying like when they played it, it's like pretty fun.
I mean, it looks like
it
it's
looks
fun.
like Generations with a character creator. Why are they doing that? They don't need to put like a DeviantArt simulator.
Because they
want to
be like Dragon Ball Xenoverse. Like, quit your own Sonic character, guys.
Oh
see.
no.
OC, do not steal.
Yeah.
It's
oh.
it's I think it's the Dokali video with like I'm Sonic Fan Casual Creation.
Dude, that was one of my favorite videos, especially at the end where Eggman shows up and Sonic's like, thank you, finally some sense in here. And he's like, I shall defeat you, Sonic, with my ultimate original fan character. No. And then it just like is a capsule and it explodes out and it's like this deep, ominous voice and it's like, behold, I am Kevin! And it's just like a crudely drawn 2D paper rip out where it looks like Knuckles but with like edgy makeup or something and like a
His mouth is like,
yeah, he's got like fangs.
yeah,
That was great.
it's awful. Yeah, dude, everything about Sonic Mania was incredible. It was just like there's so many in jokes.
I hated the desert level.
Mirage Saloon.
What is that?
I liked the second part. I just hated the very first part where you have to fight on the plane
Oh, it's so
with like
funny.
the really slow controls. Yeah. I don't know. I didn't like that part. Apparently, that was like people's favorite part from whatever Sonic game that was from. And I'm like, why do people like this? This isn't fun. It's like when you play God of War 1 and you play through the whole game and then you get to the very end of the game and it's like, all right, you know that control and fighting style that you're used to for the past like 8 hours you've been playing? It's all different now. Get used to it. And then you're going to die like 8 times.
Yeah, that part of the level was like kind of a love letter to Sky Chase Zone.
Like,
Let's see. I've only played retro like old classic games since I've been like a teenager, because I didn't have access to a bunch of the old consoles that when I was younger. So I only played like classic early games for like the PlayStation 2 to PlayStation 1, like Sly Cooper and Ratchet and Clank. That's about it.
Was PS2.
PS2. No wait. Sly Cooper came on PS2.
Yeah. The first Sly Cooper was on PS2.
I thought it was on PS1.
no.
Yeah, it was Sly Cooper and the Thievius Raccoonist, then Sly 2 Band of Thieves, Sly 3 Honor Among Thieves, and then Sly 4 came out for PS3, sorry.
Ah.
Sly 4. What's Sly 4? I forget
It's
what's
the
Sly
one where they travel in time.
Yeah.
Oh, that
It's really
one.
good.
I think it's like Thieves in Time.
Oh, yeah. Wasn't that the one that had like Move mini games too? Like the PlayStation Move?
I have no idea.
I don't remember.
Nobody remembers the Move games.
I just remember buying the collection remake on PS3 and it looked pretty good for an up-res.
Man, I recently went on like a Sly, like I just kind of went on like a Sly Cooper crash course not too long ago, and I played all three of the games and all three of the PS2 games, and man, they brought back so many good memories.
Are they still making that movie? The
What?
Sly-
No,
Sly Cooper movie?
I think Sly is done. Like the people who made Sly 4 said they don't have any plans to release anything else in the future.
Well, because I mean, they had like the full-blown like trailer for like a Sly Cooper movie like 2 or 3
Is it
years
gonna be
ago.
like the Ratchet and Clank movie where they release a trailer and then like years later they were like, "Here's the movie finally, guys."
Yeah, I don't know, maybe.
I don't know, but like it was
It was weird though because they didn't look like their video game.
Yeah,
versions,
the
like-
weird thing was they didn't get the same voice actor for Sly, but they got Bentley and Murray's voice actor, and it was like, what the heck?
Yeah.
Huh?
That's a shame.
Yeah, it was like, well, Sly's voice was the best.
Yeah, he was the coolest.
Yeah,
I kind of want a Star Fox movie.
I want a Star Fox anything like
Dude, get the SNES Classic. It's got Star Fox on there.
and 2.
And 2, which was never released here. Which
What?
I never played Star Fox. Like, I've never played any Star Fox game. And after playing Star Fox, like the Super Nintendo version, I'm like, I need to play more Star Fox.
Dude, it's so good.
Because even though, like, even the Super Nintendo one, even though it's, like, so dated because it's a 16-bit system trying to basically run 3D
Yeah,
models.
they had to use the Super Effects.
Yeah,
chip.
like, it just, like, even then, like, the look of it, even though it's very crude and like not detailed, and the R-wing is basically just 4 polygons stitched together.
Yeah.
It's like the look of the game kind of grows on you. Like you get used to it. And it's like I like its style, even though it's not like a choice of style. It's just a limitation style. It looks really nice, and I like it.
And it looks really good. Actually.
As my 2-square ship shoots a bunch of JPEGs in space.
it
they-
it is a dude. I love the Star Fox.
Are they
series.
going to release a new Star Fox game for the Switch?
They released one for Wii U, Star Fox Zero.
They released 2 actually. They released that puzzle game where you play
Yeah.
as Slippy and his dad or something like
Yeah,
that.
but it was like a tower defense game or
Yeah.
something.
Ugh.
As far as like a real Star Fox game, they did one on Wii U just last year, I think.
Yeah, it was 0.
And people didn't like it because they were like, it's just Star Fox 1 again. And I'm just like, I don't know. What do you guys want?
They're never going to beat Star Fox 64. That's just too high of a margin.
What about what was the one on GameCube?
Star
where-
Fox Adventures
Yeah,
or
where he-
Star Fox Assault.
where he went on the dinosaur planet. it's just like, yes, like first level you're on an Arwing. It's just like, yeah, Star Fox, and then it's like, all right, let's land on this planet. Like, why are we landing?
It's
What?
like, are we playing Zelda now?
Yeah, I know. Like, at what point in a Star
It's
Fox
not-
game did I get out of my ship?
It's not necessarily a bad game to me. Like when I played it again, I was like, this isn't actually that bad
It's
of a
just
game.
not a good Star
It's just
Fox
not Star.
game.
It's like Banjo Kazooie Nuts and Bolts.
Yeah,
it's not a
it's
horrible
like when-
game.
no,
it's just
yeah.
not a good
It's
Banjo Kazooie game.
It's exactly like when they did that. I was about to say that because like Nuts and Bolts is not like a bad game inherently. It's just one of those things where it's like it's not a good Banjo Kazooie game
No.
because you literally could have just taken Banjo Kazooie out, and it still would have been anything. Like it could have been like Tip Top Nuts and Bolts or whatever from
yeah,
like,
Tip Top from,
remember- yeah,
from
from,
Diddy Kong Racing.
from Diddy Kong Racing. Yeah,
Now is Metroid on the
Super Metroid is on. Metroid for some reason too is one of those games I also never played, even though
It's a really good game.
even though I'm a huge Nintendo fan. No, dude, Super Metroid is like amazing. I'm loving it so much, and like I'm playing it, and like I've just already put like a couple hours in it because I'm just exploring because I've never played it, so I don't know where to go, and
Yeah.
I'm just having like the fun as if it's like the 90s. And I'm playing it for the first
It's
time.
so good.
Like I'm not using a map or anything. I'm just going and figuring stuff out myself.
Actually, I've never beaten a Metroid game. I've gotten like really far in them, but I've never beaten them.
The games are huge, man.
It's like because like there's a lot of backtracking, and I don't mind backtracking, but there's a point like I get lost so easily.
The main reason I never played a Metroid game was because by the time I was like really getting into video games and stuff, the Metroid that was out while I was interested in stuff like that,
Metroid Prime.
it was Metroid Prime, which was like the first person shooter, and I wasn't
weird.
into first person shooter stuff then, so I avoided it, and then I never like went to it, which they never.
I was the same way.
Yeah, and so since I never played that one, I'm like I don't want to play any of them because I assumed they were all that way. That was more like a 3D Metroid thing. I think.
Yeah,
Like
I'm
it
trying
was.
to think about which one
It was third person.
it was supposed to be like a throwback to the Metroid, but they made Samus talk, and that didn't work. And then like that game was flawed.
Nintendo's never, except for Breath of the Wild. Breath of the Wild's pretty good, but other than that, anytime Nintendo tried making their characters like talk, it never was good.
because we all
Anyway.
realize the Okilotos are just jokes, and that's why
Yeah,
they're silent.
That's why they're always silent. Meanwhile, Super Mario Sunshine, terrible voice acting, but I quite like that game.
Oh, that's a
so
great game.
good.
Like no one really liked that game, and again, no-
Really?
I thought everybody liked
Yeah, I'm
that
sorry,
game.
everybody loved that game.
well, when it first came out, a lot of people didn't like it. It kind of has a cult following now, but
it
but
was
it's
like
like
a water pack jetpack.
that was what people didn't like.
Really?
They were like, no, it's not like pure Mario platforming. You have like hover ability. It's like whatever. You just go slow in the air, but you go farther. Just use it.
What about Luigi's Mansion? I don't remember that game.
I thought
was
everybody
brought
loved
back.
that
I
game.
don't- Huh?
I think everybody loved that game.
I think that was. I don't know.
I knew a lot of people who loved
Now you want
it.
to talk about a really good game? Is the second Luigi's Mansion?
Oh, dude, Dark
Holy
Moon?
Crap, that game is good.
And it does a really good job with like the 3D on the 3DS.
It looks amazing.
Like I love playing it on 3DS because then it's like I'm friggin' vacuuming the ghosts and they're like bleh, and I'm like get out of my room,
Welp,
back in my screen.
I personally have to call it here, but I would like to revisit this like in a part 2 at some point or something.
Yeah, we'll definitely
because
move
this is-
past the
I'm about to say because
Nintendo stage.
this is like we're all
I was-
three really invested in this conversation.
I was just about to get to F-Zero.
Yeah, we will
Save that
get
for
there
another
because I
time,
love
Tyler.
that game too. All right, Matt, it's technically yours. So.
Yeah, it's technically my baby.
Yeah.
So, guys, thanks for joining us today. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Well, you don't have to.
I thought we were gonna do the thing where we each say a word.
No,
No?
maybe.
Maybe
But
one. Maybe
you don't
one
have
day.
to comment, guys. Just share with people who might like this.
You can comment if you want to, though. Leave it the meanest thing possible.
That's
No.
right. I
Actually-
expect the meanest thing possible to be honest, guys.
Actually, tell us down in the comments what's your favorite Super Nintendo game. We'd
Actually,
really like to
really
know.
do that. I
Yeah.
would like
That's
to
not a
see.
bad idea. But like,
Especially if it's like really obscure, because I want to know more Super Nintendo games that I can look for at like McKay's or something.
yeah.
True.
All right, make fun of our sound editing. Make fun of how we're way too far from the mic or how everything sounds like we're recording it in a tin can.
Yeah. Also, surprise on you guys.
We have so many plugs at the end.
I know, but this is for the people listening. Ask questions about what you want to know about us, because when the new year begins, when I say new year, I mean 2018. We'll do an origins series of who we are. So ask questions, and I'll
Oh.
compile a list for us. to
I thought you
answer
were
them.
saying it was an Assassin's
boy.
Creed episode.
No.
No.
So, I will remind everybody each week to leave comments and questions for us so we can answer them come January time. And that's the show. I'm Matthew,
I'm Tyler.
I'm Steve.
aka Jacob. Thanks for joining us. See ya later.